There's a little bit of fire there. We got one feud somewhat coming to an end with Bob Arum and Floyd Mayweather. Now we have Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao on May 2nd, 2015. But now, if you haven't been paying attention, there is some major heat between Top Rank Bob Arum, Todd the Buff, Top Rank Boxing, and Miguel Cotto and Miguel Cotto Promotions. I myself, in a video leading up to Mayweather Pacquiao being announced, said that Mayweather versus Cotto 2 would be very difficult to happen, and people were saying, well, he could just fight Miguel Cotto in a rematch. And I was thinking to myself, you know how difficult that fight would be to make? For one, on a promotional win, Miguel Cotto and Miguel Cotto Promotions has not promoting anything anywhere on the level of an HBO card on their own. When you look at when you look at Mayweather Promotions, now if you really know your boxing, especially if you really know what's going on in the sport, you know that Mayweather Promotions will be a legitimate brand after Mayweather versus Pacquiao. But as it stands right now, or leading up to the announcement of Mayweather Pacquiao, Mayweather Promotions and Miguel Cotto Promotions promoting Mayweather versus Cotto 2 alone would be, you know, very difficult promotional wise. Also with the fans, in order for it to be a legitimate fight that the fans would accept over Mayweather Pacquiao, maybe would accept, it would have to be at 160 pounds. Then you have to look at Miguel Cotto having something that Floyd Mayweather would need to sell the fight to the fans, a 160-pound title. That's when you got what they call Diva Cotto comes into play. You know, the guy even has his own line of shoe wear, for crying out loud. And see, that's a little dusty. This is the cheap dollar store version, Diva Cottos. But I think to myself, what is he going to do now? If you don't know, on March the 5th, 2015, I believe it was on the 5th, that was a Tuesday, on ESPN First Take, he announced that, I'm going to let you hear it yourself. Let me find it now. He announced that him and Miguel Cotto Promotions would be joining Roc Nation Sports. And basically what that means is, his fighters, Miguel Cotto Promotions fighters, that Orlando Cruz guy, what they were doing was they were fighting on Top Rank cards and basically being co-promoted by Top Rank Promotions. To whereas in now, hold on. To whereas in right now, they're going to be on Roc Nation cards. Now we're going to talk about Roc Nation a little bit. If you don't know, Roc Nation was at one point in time with Gary Shaw Productions, meaning they had Tomas Delorme, Brian Jennings, Daniel Gill, and a few other fighters, but that merger was only about a month long. Now you have Roc Nation, who has Andre Ward and Miguel Cotto, along with Miguel Cotto Promotions fighters, along with guys like Dusty Harrison Hernandez. And basically, you know, now they have a big name, but controversy comes in because the relationship between Bob Arum and Top Rank Boxing and Miguel Cotto is somewhat tarnished. So therefore, if you look at fights like Miguel Cotto versus Timothy Bradley, that seems less likely. When you look at Miguel Cotto versus Brandon Rios, that seems less likely. Now you really have to think about what I'm talking about. And Miguel Cotto announced, which I'm about to let you hear for yourself, that he's going to be returning on June the 6th in Madison Square Garden. They don't have an opponent yet. But then here's where things get crazier. You got Gennady Golovkin saying that he can be ready, you know, to fight in June, and you got his team saying he can be ready. And I totally believe him, and I totally believe that they will completely be B-side and taking a significant low amount of money just to get the shot at Miguel Cotto. But then here's where things get crazier. It looks like Miguel Cotto is not going to fight him, because when you sign a $50 million contract, reportedly, allegedly, it's $55 million for undisclosed amount of years. It may be some shit like 2 to 3 years. We don't know, because remember, they threw 5 years, $40 million at They threw 5 years, $40 million at Adrian Broner. So,
from the nutrition experts at one a day. And
talking fast. Let me calm down. History Controversy with RealCombatMedia.com. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.
Give him a boxing lesson. Floyd Money Mayweather is scared of Manny.
This is iced tea.
Yeah.
45 have tried.
I'm drinking tea now. I'm putting sugar in it.
He will school that young man, Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao will flat out knock out Floyd Mayweather Jr. in 10 rounds.
This is Miguel Cotto from earlier this week.
The world has been waiting for years. Manny, money, they will fight. It's only 2 months away, but our next guest has actually fought both. He's 39-4, and 2 of those losses were at the hands of Floyd and Manny. We welcome Miguel Cotto to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you getting up early and being here. Before we get to the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, from my understanding, you have an announcement to make?
Yes, thank you for having me here. And we have an announcement to make today. We have an alliance with Miguel Cotto Promotion, Miguel Cotto the Boxers, with Roc Nation, and we are more than happy to announce that.
So the announcement is that you're working now with Roc Nation Sports. Is that correct?
That's correct. We have an alliance now with Roc Nation Sports.
All right. Well, congratulations on that. That's huge. From my understanding, it's the second significant signing to their boxing department. We also hear that you now have a fight in June in New York. Can you tell us a little bit about the fight?
We just figured out the fight in New York, probably going to be here in New York for June 6th, and we just trying to figure it out with going to be the opponent and all around the fight.
Okay, you're just trying to figure that all out.
Okay, so basically, he said he doesn't have an opponent yet, but let's simplify the details. All right, now, the relationship with Top Rank right now, we don't know what it is right now, but it seems to be tarnished for this little period of time. Now, the relationship with Miguel Cotto and Top Rank may be tarnished, but not Roc Nation and Top Rank. And honestly, with Bob Arum being the way he is, and up there in age, I don't see him wanting to do any type of business with his fighters, guys like Brandon Rios and Timothy Bradley, who are under contract with Miguel Cotto, especially after, all this nonsense going on. And, Miguel Cotto and his friend Brian Perez, they manage basically his career. So when it comes to a negotiating table, it would be Jay-Z. I forgot who the other guy is. I needed to learn his name. The guy that's doing the day-to-day operations for the sports or the boxing department. And Bob Arum, Todd DeBuff, Miguel Cotto, Brian Perez at the table. And, I just don't see them able to get something done productively until this situation smooths itself over. So then you look at, who can he fight under the Roc Nation banner? Now, there was a guy with Gary Shaw Productions, Turiano Johnson. I don't know. I believe he's still Gary Shaw fighter. He's now the WBC Silver. Basically, he's the guy that had the belt, that has the belt now, that Martin Murray had before he fought Golovkin. So basically, right now, Golovkin is the mandatory. And then after Golovkin, the winner of Cotto and Golovkin is supposed to fight Turiano Johnson. So maybe they can go that way. I don't know. Now, as far as Austin Trout is a Al Heyman fighter, and Al Heyman and Jay-Z don't have a working relationship, to whereas in Al Heyman got his fighters out of multiple situations where Roc Nation offered them large amount of monies, career high paydays, and basically Al Heyman got them out of that in multiple situations. So Roc Nation and Al Heyman fighters, and now Cotto was with that. I don't know. Maybe they can fix it, but we're talking about June. Remember, we're talking about just 3 months away. So it's not like a situation where, he's going to be fighting in September. The Canelo fight was right there, out there. There's so many things wrong with that situation. But at the same time, I said, Canelo's not Puerto Rican. Canelo's not Mexican. So, but at the same time, the fight was there. And it just seems as though he didn't want to fight Canelo at this point in time in his career. And now you factor in the Gennady Golovkin factor. And Golovkin is the mandatory. And Golovkin is not affected by the politics in any way, shape, or form, unless Miguel Cotto's link to HBO, which I doubt, was Top Rank. So therefore, that's a fight that can be made, and it's like, why would you not fight him? Of course you got David Lemieux and everything right there, but let's talk about what's right there, and then let's not talk about the ridiculous rumors that I'm hearing of him and Andre Ward fighting at a catch weight of like 164 pounds. Now, remember what I just said. I don't believe it, but at the same time, I have to share the information with you. So it's so much craziness going on with the situation that I really don't know what Miguel Cotto was doing, but at this point in time, he's got paid. So we don't know how many fights it's for. We don't know how many years it's for. Of course, I'm going to say it's at least maybe 2 or 3 years, because if they offer Adrian Broner $40 million for 5 years, you got to think that's Miguel Cotto deal. I mean, how could he turn that down? How could he turn that down? Will this make maybe a rematch with Floyd Mayweather more possible? Honestly, I really do not think so. I do not know. We have to see Roc Nation and Al Heyman or Roc Nation, the Premier Boxing Champions, or whatever it is, make a card first, because it seems as though Al Heyman is in it on his own. And after Mayweather Pacquiao, he just wants to have his own shit, pretty much, that's the way it's looking. But before I go, I'm going to say I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live, RealCombatMedia.com. I'm going to let you hear the rest of this Miguel Cotto interview and watch how she play him at the end. You got to understand what I'm saying, but watch how she play him at the end.
Well, let's talk about Floyd and Manny. Who do you think will win?
#explosivity.
I think it's going to be a really tough fight. Manny has his advantage. Floyd has his advantage too, but working with Freddie Roach for the last 2 fights, I know what he's capable of doing with Manny, and I think he's going to get Manny through Floyd mistakes during the fight, and Manny going to take advantage of the fight. I'm rooting for Manny Pacquiao.
So you got Manny winning. Do you have him winning by knockout or decision or what?
I think that the explosivity, the quickness of Manny going to have a big impact on Floyd's performance during May 2nd.
Is he faster? Just quick, because I know Scoop has a question. Is Manny faster than Floyd?
I think this the explosivity going to be the advantage. He can move from here to there.
Explosivity
in less seconds than Floyd, and that's going to be the biggest advantage of Manny.
Thank you.
All right, Miguel, since you said you think you have you didn't think, you said you had Manny winning the fight. My question to you is, okay, you have a fight in June. Once this is all settled out, will you be fighting the winner of this fight next?
I have no problem with that. I just thinking about my next
opponent
fight on June, and after that we can talk about what else. No matter if it's Manny or Floyd, I'm going to be ready for them.
I keep hearing rumblings, even though you haven't picked an opponent yet, but I keep hearing rumblings that Amir Khan may be, the one up next, and he actually wants to fight you. Is that a chance? Is that somebody you want to see in the ring?
Yes, I'm ready for any big name in boxing, and we just trying to get the biggest name for us on June. And if he's going to be American, we are going to be ready for him too.
Cool. Miguel, I want to ask you this, because a lot of people look at Floyd Mayweather, don't think he hits hard, don't think he has knockout power at this weight. Does he hit hard enough to knock guys out at your weight?
He is a strong boxer. The only issue with him is he taking care more of hit your opponent, not with strong with power, but he wins the fight in the easiest way.
All right, Miguel Cotto, thank you so much for joining us.
Watch this.
You
Listen
have
how she
again
playing.
announced your alliance with Roc Nation Sports. Congratulations on that, and I know you have a fight coming up in June. And finally, the big news here is that you believe Manny will win the fight over Floyd. Again, thank you for joining us. Have a great day. Okay.
That's what they get. Basically, she was like, okay, all right, you signed with Roc Nation. I don't give a fuck. but it is big. But now there's so many questions. Like, for example, if the Amir Khan fight does come to fruition, it's a fight that I feel that on paper it's a very, very good fight. I would accept the fight at 155 pounds because I know both of these guys, can basically it's a good fight on paper. That's a fight I would accept that fight over Miguel Cotto versus Timothy Bradley, if that makes sense. But then you would have Amir Khan basically fighting at 154 pounds, because I doubt that it would be at 155 or for that 160 pound title. So if that was to happen, then we know that the Miguel, then we know that the Roc Nation, Al Heyman thing can work out, and we can expect more crazy big fights. So, you know, with the way Jay-Z and Roc Nation have been doing things, I'm kind of thinking to myself that maybe they do feel that, maybe they do feel that, they need to make, you know, amends or whatever, or try to reach out to Al Heyman to try to work out this situation. I mean, at least for the good of the fans, you know, because I would love to see Miguel Cotto versus Peter Quillen, and maybe even on national television. But, you know, we will see. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. RealCombatMedia.com. Please subscribe.